Hello and welcome to another Excel demonstration from Kerr. In this scenario, we're going to look at the powerful data validation tool inside Excel. So take the following case where I've got a list of customers in column A, and in column B I'd like to indicate the service provided to those customers. And I want to make sure that the services are entered in a uniform way. So let's say one of the services we provide is marketing. I'd like to have marketing spelled the same way every time and not abbreviated in some form or fashion. So we want to force those values that should go into the service column to follow certain guidelines. So if you want to pause the video for a moment to set up a list of data in column A, you can, though it's certainly not required to look at the data validation tool. Alright, let's go. So in column B, I'm going to select cells B2 through B8, as those are the cells I wish to apply the data validation rule to. And I'll go now to the data tab of my ribbon. And on the data tab, you'll find the data validation icon. When I click it, the data validation window appears, allowing me to choose one of a number of different types of data validation styles. So where it's labeled allow, I'm going to change from the default of allow any value to allow list. So when I choose list, I can now indicate a source of data. I can create a comma separated list. So let's say that the services we provide are marketing, then I'll type a comma, accounting, and tax. And notice there's no space after the commas. It's not a sentence. It's a comma separated list of values. Now there are a couple of options here. You can tell the validation tool to allow the user to leave a cell blank, and it will provide a drop down arrow in the cell to help the user select from these acceptable values. Now let's go to the second tab labeled input message. While this is totally optional, you might decide you want to use it to give the user an additional clue about what's expected in that range of cells. If you decide to use it, you'll create a title. So my title will be Enter a Service. And the message, the body of the message might say something like select a service from the list. Now, the error alert tab is where the real magic happens. You can produce a custom error message if the user enters a value that's not from the list you established on the settings tab. And there are three styles of error alert. If you choose the stop style, that's the most strict. The user will receive a message that you've created, and they'll have to fix it before they can proceed to do anything else in the spreadsheet. The other two styles, warning and information, carry a different icon, and they allow the user to override your settings. So let's say you wanted to simply alert the user that you think their entry is erroneous, but give them the option to proceed anyway. You could choose the warning or information styles, and they all carry different icons as well. For this example, I'm going to use the stop style, and for the title, I'll say something like invalid service, and for the body of the message, I'll say I have made this as easy as I can. Please choose from the provided list, or something equally obnoxious to have a little fun with your end users. The beauty of being able to create a custom error message is to instruct the user as they go. So it's not just a generic message that says, oh, that your entry was bad, but it tells them how they can do better, in this case by choosing from the list. So let's click OK, and now there's the input message that you created, and that can be moved. It doesn't have to hover over the cells with the validation. So going to cell B2, I now have the drop down arrow that gives me the list of acceptable services, so I can go through and select from the pull down. And if I try to add something that's not in the list, if I try to type legal, then there's my error message. I have to choose from the provided list, so I'll click cancel here, and I'll go back and pick a different service. And so that's how the data validation tool works with a list that you have typed in. In another video, we'll look at using a named range as the source for our data validation list. Thanks for checking in. Come back soon. Have a great day.